This is a warning sign to you that if you want to get your MBA and you want to be a business owner, do not do it. Every single day I regret getting my MBA from Wharton. I graduated from Princeton with $0 in loans. I am now looking at my student loan repayment options, and when I tell you I am shocked, I feel like I signed a 360 deal with the devil. I am paying 6 figures in student loan debt. Shocking. And I genuinely do not believe that MBA has actually helped me in my life. I've since graduated from Wharton, graduated 2022, 2.5 years ago. Only thing that has helped me in terms of education was from Princeton. A lot of people consistently are asking me, should they get their MBA because they see I have a successful business, and they thought that I built that business as a result of everything I learned from getting my MBA. The truth is I built that business in spite of all the time and energy that it took for me to be building a business during business school while getting my MBA. All right, because the thing about an MBA is that it's really meant for people who honestly want to work in corporate. So if you want to build your own thing, the best lessons are not going to be through business school. The best lessons are actually just going to be building your own thing and learning in real time. Because I'm telling you, the student loan payments, not worth it. Will Glory in 2020 sign a 360 deal with the devil / the government? Yo, whoa. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. If you're going to go to MBA school, only do it if that is free, $0. Otherwise, I promise you it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Sorry, it ain't worth it. I went to the top MBA school in the country, graduated from the top undergraduate university in the country, and the one place that really helped me, Princeton. I'd run Princeton back again for the education. Wharton, I'm sorry, I'm good on it.
All right, folks, we are going to, from time to time, look at Business Insider stories and student loan stories. They'll just be randomly done as the time allotment works. But I love Business Insider stories, including student loan debt stories that will play in this exact same video. So don't go nowhere, okay? But you'll see Business Insider on the thumbnail title. That's when you're scrolling through the YouTube videos. That's called, those little square boxes are called the thumbnail, for those who may not know. And if you see Business Insider, that means there's a Business Insider story attached, because I love Business Insider a lot. All right, so an MBA, it's a very popular degree, and I believe it's one of the most highly sought out popular degrees, which also can make the market very saturated with MBAs. She has a business, and I guess she started that business herself, and it has little to no relevance to her MBA. I think at this point in my life, I think the MBA is best when you're already in a job and that MBA is being used to further the job you are already in, whether or not that job is paying for it, which is, definitely the preferred method. But I think to just get an MBA to get an MBA at this day and age, not 20, 30 plus years ago, at this day and age, I think just having an MBA to have an MBA, which made me think, guys, I think oftentimes people go to college for validation. They want validation on either a skill, a talent. And then, of course, there's that crowd that just goes because they want to hold off, adulting for a few more years. But it is an exceptionally expensive way, as you know, to get an education and to hold off being an adult. And for those new to the channel, welcome. And for you returning viewers, you're at home, as you know. And I got my $110,000 forgiven in 2022 after 16 years of teaching. I'm getting ready next week to end my 20th year, and I am just so excited. I'm so excited. So she never says exactly how much her degree is worth. Let me straighten the camera here. She never says how much she owes in degrees, but I'm assuming if you went to Ivy League schools, yeah, 6 figures, if not 200,000. But I'll safely say at least 100, quarter 150. Thanks for being with me. And of course, you can fast forward to the next chapter, see these videos straight through without my commentary. And don't forget, when you hear the 3 boxing bells, that means the entire commentary section is over and we are in the quiet room. There is no quiet room section for Business Insider articles.
So sorry.
I felt like I needed to come and speak on something important to me because it was weighing really heavy on me.
You're in the right place, dear heart. Go ahead.
Specifically because I just left Concord. If you don't know what that is, it's a school dedicated to, I want to say, nursing and all that. I feel like I need to target it mostly towards college students and especially high schoolers that are freshly coming out and trying to do something with their life. Because I wish somebody had told me. I was just told that I can't get into school, at least that specific school that I'm trying to transfer to because I feel like it's more hands-on, that I can't get in because I am out of student loans. I have reached my max. So, what that tells me is that I'm out of options. And it's only important to me, Kilo, stop. It's only important to me because I wish I had known. Not saying I never took school seriously, but I definitely would have made some different choices. But not everybody has the options to do certain things. I went to specific schools in Memphis because I needed a roof over my head, and let's be honest, the dorms was my first and only thing I was really thinking about. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I just picked the easiest thing and what sounded like something I wanted to do. It wasn't until I moved to Texas that I read about a school that I'm at now that has a nursing program that's amazing, and I was passionate about doing that. But now learning that I am at my limit with FAFSA and I can't take any more federal grants or whatever, I am scared that I'm not going to be able to graduate. I'm not going to be able to finish school, and somehow when I am out of school, I'm going to have to manage to pay off debt that's going to be for nothing because I'm not even going to probably get a degree because I didn't know that I don't have any more options to get money in to pay for school. And even if I choose to do the option to pay out of pocket, let's be realistic. You have to have a good job to manage something like that. And with how this economy is and people get laid off and stuff like that, these jobs are not trying to hire inexperienced people, at least at the good ones that actually pay good money. And they're not trying to give students a chance because unfortunately students like me have to take classes at random times, at random days or whatever, like one class on a Monday, two class on a Thursday at certain times. When jobs like to have you on a specific schedule, either morning or night or evening or whatever, you gotta pick one. But unfortunately, students don't have that luxury and time to do that. And it's really hard to focus on school when you have to work like 2 or 3 jobs while in school. It's okay. So I'm just saying that to say I wish somebody had told me that you don't have a lot of time.
Okay. All right. Part of this, it's a heartbreaking video. Part of this is her fault. Part of it is not, but I'm going to lean towards it's more her fault. Okay. And it's true when you don't know the questions, it's like you don't know what to ask because you didn't even know what to ask. So people say, well, you should have said something. I didn't know what to ask. That really is a true concept. In fact, and I think most of us, if we're honest, we've all been there, okay, regardless of the subject. But let's take a look here. So basically what we have here is this situation where she even says, I never took school seriously. I never took school seriously. She didn't even know what her major was. Remember, I just told you guys, some people just simply want to hold off adulting. That's exactly what she did. Exactly. And that wasn't even an intentional video order when I said that, because I barely see these videos. I really watch these videos in depth for the first time with you guys. I edit for swear words, clarity, transitions and stuff. But otherwise, I don't listen to them and think deeply about it until I watch it with you. She is a classic case of somebody who wasted a huge opportunity to do something that was meaningful, but she wasted the FAFSA money, which is limited, on just kind of playing around on campus. When she realized she really wanted to be a nurse, the FAFSA money was out. But part of me has to go, she did not know that free money isn't forever. And we know it's not free, but work with me here. Okay. Initially, the money seems free. So she wants to get out of her house, is what I'm assuming, because she says here, I never took school seriously. I didn't know my major. Um, so she takes on all this debt, which she already can't pay off. And then a couple of years into school, she goes, hey, I want to be a nurse. Back to FAFSA, what she perceives, and a lot of students perceive as free money initially. And we know it's never free. And they go, oh, you have a limit. What did you do with the money we gave you? Oh, well, I took it playing around campus. This is why college is not one size fits all. Not every single student should go to college right after school. Some should never go, and some should go, but at a later date. And that later date can be whatever age they choose to go. Later in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Honestly, if you're going to college in your 60s, I think you're going more for personal, gratuitous reasons, and I fully support you on that. Okay, because sometimes we just need to know we did that part of our life, if that was a goal that we had. So I get that. But she blew it all. The so-called free FAFSA cash, she blew the whole thing, or most of it, on piddly stuff. And she said, I wish someone had told me. Guys, social media is everywhere. Channels like mine are pretty much everywhere. You can't tell me that you're on the FYP page of TikTok For You page and you haven't seen a single story about student loan debt. You cannot tell me that if you're half, a toe dip into YouTube, you haven't seen stories about student loan debt. We have to get over the, I wish someone had told me. No. She admits she never took school seriously. So if you take someone who never took school seriously and you give them what is perceived to be free money, what do you think they're going to do? Spend it responsibly? I don't think so. This is ultimately all at her feet. She chose this. Now, in some defense, as the BBB, Big Beautiful Bill, starts kicking in, it already has, but as it really starts kicking in this July, and don't forget, a year from now, I think it's till it's either 27 or 28, parents have to recertify and get onto some payment plan. I want to say it's 27, I think it is. And they're encouraging that parents start looking at their Parent Plus loans right now and figure out what payment you're going to be on, all of that wonderful stuff. Remember, there's no income-based payment coming up in the future with Parent Plus loans. No more income-based payments. So, it's just more of the shitty soup that's already been served in the student loan world. She blew it. And now she realizes she blew it. But as we see this, we're going to see more and more people of her economic and my socioeconomic income level going, I can't afford this degree. Even if she had the FAFSA money, even if she did, I'm not sure with nursing, not sure if she would have been able to afford the whole thing. And yes, it's going to kick certain people out of certain industries, which is horrible. Because I'm sorry, more than rich people should be doctors, more than rich people should be lawyers. But I don't have the power to change it. Speak louder to the public, people. That's all I can say. Tell your leaders and whatnot. But this situation, while she put herself in it, is going to also be a situation that many other people see themselves in before they even start school. If you're struggling in high school, you may want to think twice about starting college, either because your brain hasn't fully developed, and I don't mean that sarcastically, but they say that your brain develops at age 25 or something like that, or maybe you're just not ready, motivated, and mature enough to go to college yet.
And a lot of options. Yeah, school isn't a race, it's a marathon. You take your time, don't rush through it. But not everybody has the money to do that. And I wasn't always a good student in high school, but I started making straight A's when I got in college. I feel like my life is going nowhere because all I've been doing is been in school, and it's got me nowhere.
It's crazy.
Which partly explains why she was so comfortable taking out loans for school. Remember what I've told you guys, and I've said this in past videos, a lot of these young people going to college, all they've known, of course, is school and bills being paid for them. And I've told you, it goes from mom and dad paying the bills to FAFSA paying the bills. It sounds like free money. Thank you so much, you guys, for staying for this second part. We are going to be looking at Business Insider Stories on all topics, but many of them do focus on student loan debt. As you know, it's very near and dear to my heart to help people stay out of the debt that I was in for 16 years. This Business Insider Story is by Ayelet Sheffy. It's titled Meet Two Married Couples Who Are Blocked from Student Loan Forgiveness because they were advised to combine their debt years ago. Yes, we do have to work through the ads here. And it was written May 8th, 2022. I will put a link to this Business Insider article in the description box. Here we go. Russell and Kate were told that consolidating their student loan would be the best option for them. The practice allows married couples to combine their student debt into one loan, allowing them to make just a single monthly payment with one interest rate. The idea is that it's a more affordable option. But there's a big catch. Doing so has now barred them from getting their student loan debt forgiven under a program specifically for public servants like them. Now 52 and 51 years old, respectively, Russell and Kate hold a joint $330,000 student debt balance from their pair of graduate degrees. Now, keep in mind, this is only a couple years ago, but knowing the finances as they are today, they have this debt, and I'm willing to bet it is even bigger. Being a child from the 80s, I do recall, and this is, of course, long before PSLF, Public Service Loan Forgiveness, ever even came into the picture. It was encouraged that if you had student loan head and if you're married, combine it with your spouse because that was considered the better deal. It's kind of like combining your income taxes. And just a real side note for those who do not know, if you sign off on your spouse's income taxes and there is an issue with the IRS later, anyone who signed off on the taxes is considered legally responsible, even if you never looked at the paperwork, whether it was denial or whatever. You are fully responsible for whatever you and your spouse sign off together. Personally, I don't sign off on taxes with anyone, even when I was married. Well, the same concept to some extent goes to student loan debt. If you take it and you combine that debt together, no matter what other programs come down the pike, guess what? You can't transfer to those other programs. And that is something because PSLF wasn't around, say in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, okay? Combining it, there would be no reason for a couple to say, well, now could we possibly get PSLF down the road? It didn't exist. It didn't come around till about 2004, 5, right around there when President Barack Obama became president. Okay, and it was done by Congress. It wasn't one political party or the other. Both sides created the PSLF program. So they are $330,000 in student loan debt. I am 58. They are 51 and 52 respectively. Oh my goodness. While their incomes are sufficient to support themselves and their families, the public service work is not generally high paying to the point that monthly student loan bills cut into spending on other basic necessities. I understand people need to pay back their debt. I get that part, Russell told Insider. But if the government promises debt forgiveness for public servants after 10 years and we find out after the fact our loans don't qualify, that's my biggest problem. Wow, talk about feeling cheated. If they had $330,000 loan today, and of course, they're public servants. I mean, I've told you before, being a public servant, okay, police, firefighter, military, DMV employee, those are the easiest jobs to get approved for because there's no debate that it's public servant. It does get a little bit touchy, however, when you start talking nonprofit. That becomes very, very touchy. And this isn't about nonprofits, but you really have to do your due diligence. But in general, okay, if the job is labeled public service, city, county, state government, it's pretty much a shoe-in. I mean, still, like I said, do your work. I would be very frustrated. It'd be like me carrying my 110,000. It started 85,000 when I was 47. Actually, excuse me, when I was in my late 30s, about 38, and then I got divorced. And I divorced with the $85,000 student loan bill, which grew to 110,000 until it was forgiven in 2022. And then somebody coming along saying, "Oh, but when you initially took out that loan, PSLF wasn't around," and I would have missed it by like I don't know a year or so. That's how close it would have been. So I can certainly imagine, and I can respect their frustration. I think this is probably beyond frustration when you're sitting with 330,000. Congress shuttered the spousal joint consolidation program in 2006 after 13 years. When the PSLF program, which forgives student debt for public servants after 10 years of qualifying payments, was created in 2007. Oh, good. I know my facts. I told you right around, 2007. The only reason I remember that so well is because I graduated in 2006 and it wasn't around at the time. But a year or so after I graduated, PSLF appeared. There's also a lot of, in these business articles, they talk about a lot of politics and who was president at the time and all that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm really just here to read the stories about the couples. But again, the link will be in the description box. Okay. To qualify for PSLF, as most of you know, the loans must be consolidated into a federal direct loan. But now I'm going to go off the reading here for those not looking at the screen. This is my side note. Okay. They have to be consolidated, but you can't multiple consolidate loans. And that's part of the problem. So part of it, of course, is just the legal aspect. They say, nope, doesn't qualify. The other part is you can't keep consolidating loans. Once a loan is consolidated, that's it. It's now consolidated. The law prohibits the separation of spousal loans. That would be the first step in applying for the program. In other words, the law says, hey, your loans are joined. It is illegal to separate it. So the law prohibits the separation of spousal loans. So unless a new bill is passed, they will not get relief. Wow, that's really sad. And I know there are the naysayers out there going, well, you took out the debt. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But we are talking about this couple with their 330,000 munchkins that they got to pay off. It's now clear to Russell and Kate that consolidating their loans was not the best option for them. And they have since refinanced some of their debt into private loans. Oh, sweet Jesus. With a lower interest rate, but they said they're holding out some hope that those like them will be noticed by lawmakers, leading to a change in the law. No, it's not going to happen. At least not under this administration. I doubt it will ever happen. Take a look at what's happened with student loans right now under the BBB bill. It's going to be harder than ever to get highly advanced degrees that pay well. We're talking the doctors, high-end lawyering, stuff like that. I understand there are a lot of lawyers out there that probably honestly make what I make, somewhere around, 70, 80, 90,000 a year. There are a lot of lawyers out there. Okay. So we know not every lawyer is rich. That's why oftentimes you ever driven by a lawyer's office and they're in some little half rundown strip mall, with some old 80s TV store next to it, right? Because not all lawyers are rich. That was funny. I'm sorry. Okay, moving back on. So yeah, waiting for a change in the law. That's not going to happen. Law's not going to change. It's good to see people in the same boat that we are in because it's not like you're on an island by yourself. It's that island of misfit toys. Everyone's wanting to get excited because you think something's going to change and then it doesn't, and the rug gets pulled out. And then it gets to be a little bit like, why even try? We have to remember before we start shaming this couple, PSLF did not exist the way it does now. So these are not questions or thoughts they would have had when they were told, hey, you're married, go ahead and consolidate. She says, we'll be okay, but we'll be in debt forever. Rebecca Leroy, another character in the story, 47, is in a similar situation to Russell and Kate with a current $47,000 student debt from spousal consolidation back in 2003. Leroy has worked at a Washington state nonprofit for over a decade, with her husband doing the same for nearly 2 decades. Not only does she not qualify for PSLF, she's also looking at taking out Parent Plus loans for her kid once they go to college, and the monthly $460 payments she's making right now are already a financial strain. Come on, lady. Come on, Rebecca Leroy, who is 47 years old and $47,000 worth of debt. Why would you be dumb enough to tell your kid, hey, you know what? Your mom's already in debt with a $460 a month payment I can't afford. I'm going to go ahead and borrow more money in Parent Plus loans, which we know now, okay? Laws have changed. You are not able to get income based. And even if you could get income based, it wouldn't matter because you can never pay it off because it's income based. You never pay past the principal to get into, you never pay past the interest to get into the principal. I do not understand the logic. And yes, I know I don't have children. I know I'm not a parent. Got it. But I don't understand in today's day and age with all the horror stories there are out there, Parent Plus loan debt, you truly are more powerful to your child financially if you do not get yourself into that debt and you do not commit contractually to future bills. because you don't know, especially as we get older, we don't know how our medical condition is going to change. So you signed on the line at 50 and everything was great. You had no arthritis pain, you had no surgeries, no nothing. And you signed off for a 20-year payment plan, which we know now under Parent Plus, no income base. You are paying full rate you are paying. And then you wind up in some medical, whatever, God forbid, okay, emergency. It happens to a lot of us. And all of a sudden, all of those hours you could work when you were 50, you couldn't do it now. With two arthritic knees today, I could not do a waitress job. I could not do a retail job that didn't have the ability for me to sit down. I'd be able to sit and stand at will. Okay. Like somebody can't say to me, well, you can stand it for the first 10 minutes. No, that's not the way arthritis works in any part of our bodies. Okay. It does what it's going to do when it wants to do it. Okay. So she's sitting here going, oh, you know what? I already can't afford the 460. What is it? She's looking at taking out Parent Plus loans for her kids once they go to college. And the monthly 460 she's paying right now are already a financial strain. If she goes ahead and takes out that debt for her kids, don't feel sorry for her. When you have the math already in front of you and you know exactly where the road is going financially and you still choose to do that movement anyways, I can tell you from personal experience, the only person you can blame is yourself. That is it. You cannot sit there and go, well, I didn't know. I was doing it for my kids. I was doing it for my spouse. I was doing it for myself. No, the roadmap was already there. You already knew. She says, we called our loan company a couple of times to talk about PSLF, and we managed to get really high up in the chain before we were finally told to stop applying because it's not something that we're ever going to be eligible for. Okay, the woman's an idiot. She's an absolute idiot. First, she goes, you know what? I'm already making nearly $500 a month student loan payments. I'm just not looking forward to taking out more for my kid, but I'm going to go and do it anyways. And you think sitting there and applying for PSLF when it doesn't exist in the program is going to get it, is going to give you PSLF. We're not thinking with all of our marbles here, fam. Or she's not thinking with all of her marbles. We're thinking just fine. Leroy, like the cases, do not live beyond her means. She is simply unable to adequately serve her debt at her current rate. Then that means you are living beyond your means. If you cannot afford the debt you are carrying with the current living that you have, then that means you are living beyond your means. I know she and the cases don't want to downsize. I know they wanted to have the children, the house, the car, the vacay, and all of that. I get that. But if you can't afford the debt, then yeah, you're living beyond your means. But we could afford it if we didn't have the debt, but the baby is here. It has already arrived. You need to plan for it. Okay, of the 26,000 approximate unique consolidated spousal loans out there, just 776 borrowers are still in repayment. Okay, this is all data stuff. I don't care about that. We'll be okay, but we'll be in debt forever, Leroy said. No, that is not okay. No. If your kid comes up to you and says, Mom, Dad, I'm going to take out enough debt, I'm going to be in hock for the rest of my life, is that okay? No, it's not okay. We need to sit down and think. We need to rethink, rebudget. This I like this layout, fam. For the Business Insider, I like this layout. I was just noticing it. I'm looking at multiple screens when I record this. Let's see here. This group represents a small fraction of what they already have forgiven for other people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the only way out is legislation. That is true. And I don't see that legislation happening in my lifetime. Unfortunately, borrowers nationwide remain liable for their potentially abusive or uncommunicative former partner's portion of their consolidated debt. Oh, so that means if you get divorced, yeah, that's right. If you divorce, say you take your student loan, you consolidate it, and then you divorce, yeah, it's when you consolidate and you sign, you're accepting everybody else's debt. I truly, truly believe that student loans and IRS should be kept separate. That's just, like I said, even when I was married, I was married 10 years, student loans and IRS were always kept separate. I don't combine those things.
This is a warning sign to you that if you want to get your MBA, you want to be a business owner, do not do it. Every single day I regret getting my MBA from Wharton. I graduated from Princeton with $0 in loans. I am now looking at my student loan repayment options, and when I tell you I am shocked, I feel like I signed a 360 deal with the devil. I am paying 6 figures in student loan debt. Shocking. And I genuinely do not believe that MBA has actually helped me in my life. I've since graduated from Wharton, graduated 2022, 2.5 years ago. Only thing that has helped me in terms of education was from Princeton. A lot of people consistently are asking me, should they get their MBA because they see I have a successful business, and they thought that I built that business as a result of everything I learned from getting my MBA. The truth is I built that business in spite of all the time and energy that it took for me to be building a business during business school while getting my MBA. All right, because the thing about an MBA is that it's really meant for people who honestly want to work in corporate. So if you want to build your own thing, the best lessons are not going to be through business school. The best lessons are actually just going to be building your own thing and learning in real time. Because I'm telling you, the student loan payments, not worth it. Will Glory in 2020 sign a 360 deal with the devil / the government? Yo, whoa. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. If you're going to go to MBA school, only do it if that's free, $0. Otherwise, I promise you it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Sorry, it ain't worth it. I went to the top MBA school in the country, graduated from the top undergraduate university in the country, and the one place that really helped me, Princeton. I'd run Princeton back again for the education. Wharton, I'm sorry, I'm good on it. So sorry.
So I felt like I needed to come and speak on something important to me because it was weighing really heavy on me. Specifically because I just left Concord. If you don't know what that is, it's a school dedicated to, I want to say, nursing and all that. I feel like I need to target it mostly towards college students and especially high schoolers that are freshly coming out and trying to do something with their life. Because I wish somebody had told me. I was just told that I can't get into school, at least that specific school that I'm trying to transfer to because I feel like it's more hands-on, that I can't get in because I am out of student loans. I have reached my max. So what that tells me is that I'm out of options. And it's only important to me, Kilo, stop. It's only important to me because I wish I had known. Not saying I never took school seriously, but I definitely would have made some different choices. But not everybody has the options to do certain things. I went to specific schools in Memphis because I needed a roof over my head, and let's be honest, the dorms was my first and only thing I was really thinking about. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I just picked the easiest thing and what sounded like something I wanted to do. It wasn't until I moved to Texas that I read about a school that I'm at now that has a nursing program that's amazing, and I was passionate about doing that. But now learning that I am at my limit with FAFSA and I can't take any more federal grants or whatever, I am scared that I'm not going to be able to graduate. I'm not going to be able to finish school, and somehow when I am out of school, I'm going to have to manage to pay off debt that's going to be for nothing because I'm not even going to probably get a degree. Because I didn't know that I don't have any more options to get money in to pay for school. And even if I choose to do the option to pay out of pocket, let's be realistic. You have to have a good job to manage something like that. And with how this economy is and people get laid off and stuff like that, these jobs are not trying to hire inexperienced people, at least at the good ones that actually pay good money. And they're not trying to give students a chance because, unfortunately, students like me have to take classes at random times, at random days or whatever. Like one class on a Monday, two class on a Thursday at certain times. When jobs like to have you on a specific schedule, either morning or night or evening or whatever. You gotta pick one, but unfortunately students don't have that luxury and time to do that. And it's really hard to focus on school when you have to work like 2 or 3 jobs while in school. It's okay. So I'm just saying that to say I wish somebody had told me that you don't have a lot of time and a lot of options. Yeah, school isn't a race, it's a marathon. You take your time, don't rush through it. But not everybody has the money to do that. And I wasn't always a good student in high school, but I started making straight A's when I got in college. I feel like my life is going nowhere because all I've been doing is been in school, and it's got me nowhere.